All right, listen up, folks, because what I'm about to drop is fresh out of the oven and you won't hear this just anywhere. This is straight Lions talk from the soul of Detroit. You can almost smell the Ford Field, that feeling of a packed house in Honolulu Blue coming through the screen right now. Today, I'm bringing you 4 bombshells, 4 pieces of news that are shaking up the One Pride Nation. Each one is bigger than the last, my friends. And the last one, well, the last one could change the whole course of the season. But tell me, are you really ready for this? Did you know that over 90% of the people who watch Lions News Central still aren't subscribed? Can you believe that? They watch everything, they talk to their friends about it, but they forget to hit that button. You can be different. It's quick, easy, and free. Show us some love, click that button, and make sure you don't miss a thing. So let me tell you, there are a lot of fans out there who still haven't grasped how big a bet the Lions made on that kid, Tyleik Williams. And honestly, I think the guy is being way underestimated. The front office, Dan Campbell himself, everyone inside that building knows this. If you can't stop the run game, forget it. The season becomes a steep climb with no end. And the Lions, man, they are building a wall on that defensive line. Williams didn't just show up to take up space. Assistant coach Ray Agnew made it clear. His pass rush power is way bigger than what people are talking about. The guy collapses the pocket, he's explosive, and even coming from Ohio State, he's already shown he can go toe-to-toe with the NFL's brutes. Is he learning? Sure. But tell me, who didn't take a hit going from college to the NFL? Even Barry Sanders needed that adjustment at the beginning, remember? And look at the picture that's being painted. Williams in the middle, DJ Reader next to him, Hutchinson and Davenport on the edges. Man, that's a respectable line. And you've still got Alan McNeil coming back. I keep thinking, that the Motor City crowd is going to go wild every time this group puts pressure on an opposing quarterback. Imagine Ford Field pulsating when the line shuts the door on the run game. It's the kind of thing that gives even the old-timers in the stands goosebumps. Oh, and it doesn't stop there. Agnew talked about the depth reinforcements too. Tyler Lacey, heavy physical, great against the run, and Tyrus Wheat, who's already come in with a reputation as a pure energy edge rusher. These guys might not be stars, but you know how it is. The season is long, injuries happen, and having depth with players who buy into the team culture makes all the difference. To be honest with you, I'm feeling a different vibe, a scent of a dominant defense we haven't seen in a long time in Detroit. The conversation is buzzing in the fan groups. The Lions Nation spread across the U.S. is commenting big time. This front seven could be top 5 in the league. And I don't think that's an exaggeration at all. But hold on, because the next topic also has that new flavor feel. An unexpected name popping up on our practice squad that could surprise everyone. Want to know who it is and what he did before he got here? Oh, come on, stick with me and I'll tell you. So, my man, check out this move the front office pulled. The Lions completed their practice squad by bringing in pass rusher Andre Carter II. A lot of people might think, oh, practice squad, that changes nothing. But hold up. This guy has a curious history. He comes from Army, not just any program, and in his last year there, he exploded for 15.5 sacks. He was one of the national leaders, second only to Will Anderson. That's not just anything. Carter is 6'6", 255 pounds. That physical presence that intimidates just by looking at him. He entered the league as an undrafted free agent in 2023, battled with the Vikings and saw action in 12 games. Most of them on special teams, it's true, but he still made his mark. With the Raiders last year, he even got a sack, a tackle, and a QB hit in very few snaps. His resume might not shine like a diamond, but there's hidden potential, And I'll tell you, in the preseason games, this guy showed up. Against the Cardinals, for example, he had 2 sacks and 5 pressures. Man, that gets any scout's attention. The problem is consistency, maintaining that level against starting NFL offensive lines. But if there's one place he can grow, it's in this Lions group, training with Hutchinson, Davenport, and the rest of them. What I liked is that Brad Holmes didn't just bring him in for the sake of it. The edge rotation already has Hutchinson and Davenport as anchors, with Muhammad O'Connor and Wheat behind them. But let's be honest, if injuries pop up, things get complicated fast, and Carter arrives precisely as that medium-term project, low risk, but one that could become a useful piece. It's like buying a cheap stock that could double in value, And there's more. The team's culture today is about seizing opportunities. If a guy shows hustle in practice, if he shows he wants it, Dan Campbell won't think twice about giving him snaps. And that's where the magic can happen. I can already imagine the crowd chanting, "Carter, Carter," if he gets a decisive sack at home. The Lions Nation is already divided. Some think he's just a body for practice. Others are excited about the ceiling he showed in college. To be honest, I'm in the middle. Cautious, but curious. Because if he fits in, he could be that unexpected reinforcement that helps in December, when the season gets heavy. And hold your heart, because the next piece of news isn't about some low-level roster gamble. This is Blockbuster trade talk, involving even a former #1 overall draft pick. Want to know who it is and how this could shake up the NFC North? Just wait a little bit. Man, this one's the kind that makes the whole bar go quiet for a second. There's a trade proposal out there for the Lions to try and get none other than Travon Walker, the guy who was the #1 overall pick in the 2022 draft. Yeah, you heard that right, my friend. Aiden Hutchinson on one side, Travon Walker on the other. Can you imagine the damage? When the Jaguars chose Walker, it wasn't because he was a finished product. It was a bet on his potential, on what he could become. And look, in the last 2 years, the kid has shown it wasn't just hype. He finished last season with 10.5 sacks, 61 tackles, and 15 QB hits. Before that, he already had 10 sacks in 2023, so that's 2 straight years of double digits. That's not luck. That's the evolution of an elite player. Now think about this scenario. The Packers went and brought in Micah Parsons. They changed the NFC North dynamic. The pressure on Detroit is immediate. Want to go head-to-head? You need to counter. And Walker would be exactly that counter. It's no exaggeration to say that his arrival would transform the Lions' defense into one of the most feared in the conference. The proposed package is hefty, of course. A 2026 first-round pick, plus mid-round picks in 2026 and 2027. And if Walker gets over 10 sacks or the Lions make the NFC Championship, that third-round pick becomes a second. It hurts to give up those picks, it hurts. But have you ever seen a Super Bowl team get there just by hoarding draft picks? I haven't. Teams who want to be champions take risks. I know some fans are hesitant. But Hutchinson is coming back from surgery. Is it worth risking so much? To be honest with you, that's precisely why it's worth it. You balance the pressure, you take the weight off of Hutch, and you leave the opposing offensive line without knowing who to double team. And I'll go further. Walker still has a controlled contract until 2026, with a value that fits into the cap. This isn't a crazy deal. In the Lions Nation groups, the talk is on fire. Some are screaming, make the trade now. Others fear repeating past mistakes. But the truth is simple. Detroit's window is open now, not in 2027. And letting a chance like this pass could be costly. And look, we're not done. Because the fourth piece of news hits right in the heart of the fan base. A possible return of a familiar face. A leader who's already missed. So, is he coming back? Whoa, now this one gets emotional. Because it involves a guy who has already worn the Honolulu Blue, put respect on the field, and earned credit in the locker room. Za'Darius Smith. That's right. The veteran edge rusher is missed, and he hasn't hidden from anyone that he wants to come back. He even said in an interview, "We know where I want to be." Man, that gives any true fan goosebumps. Brad Holmes, our GM, hasn't shut the door either. He said anything is possible, that the roster still has an open spot, but he made it clear. That spot isn't being held for anyone specific. It's for the player who makes the most sense within the project. And that's that chess game the front office plays, right? They show interest, but they keep their cards close to the vest. Last season, after the trade with the Browns, Smith only played 8 games with Detroit. But in those few games, he showed impact. 4 sacks, 10 QB hits, 3 tackles for loss. Numbers that, if projected over a full season, would easily put him on the highlight reel. And besides the stats, it's his presence. At Ford Field, it seemed like the defensive line got more confident just by seeing him lined up. The problem, of course, is timing and expectation. Holmes let it slip that he hasn't recently talked with the player or his agent. This raises that cruel doubt. Is the marriage still of interest to both sides, or has it just become behind-the-scenes talk? Fans don't forget. In the forums, in the Lions Nation WhatsApp groups, people are commenting big time. Bring Smith back. He's the leader we're missing. Others are a little more hesitant. Is it worth investing in a veteran who's past his prime? And I understand both sides. To be honest with you, I'm divided too. Smith has already shown he can guide the younger guys, lead a practice, and teach technique. And let's face it, the edge rotation is still thin. Hutchinson and Davenport are the pillars, but behind them the depth is concerning. Muhammad, Wheat, Carter too, all promising, but you can't blindly trust them yet. If Hutch or Marcus gets hurt, who's going to hold things down? That's where Smith's return makes sense. He would come in without needing to be the protagonist, but with the veteran presence. He would be that strong arm at the end of the season when the team needs experience to hold down big games. Now hold on to this. Even if it doesn't happen now, the door is open, and that could explode at any moment during the season. All right, let's go. After all this we've talked about, it's clear that the Lions are living through one of those unique moments. You know, when the whole city feels like things could be different, Motor City is breathing this energy. From the young guys like Williams and Carter, to the dream of a blockbuster trade for Walker, and even the possible return of Smith, everything points in the same direction: ambition. And I'm telling you, it's boldness that separates those who just participate from those who make history. Comment below what you think, because this is the true home of the Lions Nation. One pride.